Most of you have taken advantage of the New Year time to sort of evaluate your life and kind of come to terms with what changes you might want to make to create a better future for 2018. Common experience. I had that experience on steroids when I retired, because I had to figure out what I was going to do with the remaining years of my life. And I was part of the first generation in American history that could look forward to over 20 years of retirement living. It had never been done before. There was no pattern, no model to go by. We had to develop it from scratch. And I was fortunate enough to affiliate with the Center for Creative Retirement at the University of North Carolina, and we were exploring this very issue. Our classes and workshops were attended by people from all over the country. We were very successful. We quickly outgrew the classroom space and parking space the university allocated for our stuff. And they eventually said, there's a parcel of land over here that's undeveloped. You can have that if you can raise the funds and build your own building. And we did. But that's another story. A $4 million story. Anyway, our programs developed, and in that process, some of the group turned to me and said, "You know, you're really lucky. You retired really young. You're such a young and vigorous person, and you're able to put all this time in this kind of a project." And then as we got to talking, they discovered I was older than they were. And so it was, well, how do you do it? And I explained that I'd been part of meditation and body-mind-spirit connection for 25 years or so in California, and that was kind of my way of life. And then we got to talking, and they said, well, maybe we need to develop some classes around the concept of health, well-being, and successful aging. And I said, yeah, I could do that, but I think the university might consider a class based on my meditation experiences to be a little woo-woo, at least at that time in history. Well, then Deepak Chopra wrote a groundbreaking book. I left it at my seat, but anyway, it's called Ageless Body, Timeless Mind. And in that book, what he did was he pulled together discoveries of quantum physics, medical science, and metaphysics into one integrated whole that addressed the issue of health and well-being, particularly as it relates to aging. And as I read that book, I discovered that quantum physics was confirming what I had discovered through meditation. And not only that, they were describing it in a little better way than I'd been able to describe it. And it was objective data instead of just my personal experience or the experience of others. So I got excited, and needless to say, the next class that I developed was based on that book. Because I figured that whatever people were going to do with that 20 plus years of retirement living, they could do it better if they had a long period of health and well-being in their golden years. Well, the class was very successful. I taught it for a number of years. But each time it was a little different, because there were constant changes being made, constant new ideas from quantum physics, constant new experiences from people who took the class and were sharing the principles and ideas in their life. But underneath all of those changes, one thing remained constant, and that is that the primary fundamental factor in determining your health and well-being is your consciousness. To give you just one quick illustration, when we as spiritual beings decided to come into a human experience, we were issued a body. And we say, gee, I want to take care of this body, I want to use it wisely and well, just like I would a new car. But there's a difference between your body and the new car. Your body is constantly being recreated. Since you've been sitting in this room, And every one of you has had millions upon millions of cells in your body die. And they've been replaced by new ones. It's a dynamic, ongoing, continuous process every moment of our lives. And the development of those new cells, the quality of that development is based upon the consciousness you have when that process is taking place. I'm not going to go any further with that because it would take forever. But that's a sample of the ideas. So anyway, I'm happy to share my latest journey of what it means to be an ageless body and a timeless mind through the class. The sign-up sheet's at the back if that interests you. I would have one request. If you decide to take the class, please buy the book and read it. You can get it on Amazon for less than $10. It's something that you will refer to for years. Yeah, there it is. Happy. Thank you, Barb. And if people come prepared by looking at the material ahead of time, the discussions and sharing will be more deeply profound and we'll get a lot more out of what we do. So I urge you, if you choose to take the class, get the book. It doesn't start till the 31st. You got time to order it. Second, be sure and indicate whether you want a day or an evening class. And if there's enough interest, we might have two. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, if your involvement in 2018 dealt with health and well-being, I invite you to consider this as one of the tools to make that happen in your life.